All right, welcome, Alec. How's it going?
Yes, it's going. It's going pretty good. I don't know. I'm feeling like I need to know myself. We need to know more about ourselves.
Well, can you just go watch some Tarqaron videos and it'll tell you all you need to know, right?
That's true. Yeah. If you watch our hypotheticals and supertheticals, that will generally tell you
If,
everything you
if you
need to
watch
know.
any video of ours, that gives you like you completely know us.
Yeah.
You
Ooh,
just know
I
us
don't
on every
know.
level.
I don't know if I could say that exactly, but
So if you're, I mean, at least in my experience, in public school they had us do this same personality test as well. It's
really.
the Myers-Briggs personality test. So you might have heard of it, you might not have. But we're gonna take this test. We're gonna see what our personality type comes out and kind of discuss as we go,
So
and see if we think it's accurate or not.
So I've taken these multiple times. I generally get the same two. Uh, there's one, and I'm not going to say what it is or anything like that, but I generally adhere to one in particular. But we're going to see
Mm.
what I end up with this time around.
So yeah, I took it once in high school and then once like a year ago, and honestly, they were two very different ones, and I don't know which one's the accurate one. So maybe you'll find the truth here.
We'll find the truth. The
Mm.
truth is in the average.
All right. So it begins with you regularly make new friends.
I'm going to say I disagree. I don't know how hard I disagree.
I don't regularly make new friends. It's not
I
true,
don't
but
really
I
either.
can. I mean,
Yeah. Remember, a lot of this is. I think most of this is based a little bit on gut. So you don't need to.
neutral.
You're neutral. You don't really, and you don't. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm in the soft disagree. Um,
Okay.
I'm actually gonna say I'm mid disagree. Because like I don't really find myself like really seeking out like new friends. I feel like a lot of the friends that I have, I've got a good core group. So
Hmm.
I don't really regularly make new friends.
The thing
So
is, like, if I put it into an environment like a work environment, I can make friends pretty easily. But
yeah,
it's not that I'm going out of my
I,
way
yeah,
otherwise.
yeah, I generally keep my work friends and my personal life friends separated, and I know a lot of my work colleagues don't.
Hmm.
But for me, I think that just works best. So
Hmm. So you spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest.
that's a
Yeah.
extreme. That's a very strong agree on my end.
I would say the same. Yeah.
Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too.
No, I don't think so. Not from
I,
me.
I'm gonna be
It's a very specific context. I mean, it has to be like
yeah,
someone I'm really close to in a specific context. I find myself, even if like someone's crying that I know well, or like a family member, if I'm not like attached to that thing, I find myself, it's hard for me to cry to that too. Even though I'm an emotional person,
yeah.
it's
I feel
not.
like seeing like specific family members cry is definitely like that's up there. Like seeing my dad cry is very rare, and so generally speaking, like that generally. Even my mom though too. My mom cries, but generally, if my mom's crying, it's something I'm crying. So, um, I yeah, I don't
Most of the
usually
time, if I see
seeing
someone
them.
crying,
I'm gonna say I disagree as well.
I'd
It's
say
gonna be a
mid
soft.
disagree.
It's a soft disagree for me though,
Yeah.
because I think there are times where like I've seen people crying and that does make me,
Hmm.
but it's definitely on the leaning towards disagree. So
You'll often make a backup plan for a backup plan. No,
I don't think I do
I don't
either.
think so. See, generally, sometimes I'll have a backup plan, but sometimes I'm just kind of like, well, if this falls through, then we'll just kind of wing it from there. That's just how I'll do.
Yeah, I'm not really good at. I always think worst case scenario, so I am always pretty much on that end. But I'm not always thinking of a backup plan, especially a backup plan for a backup plan. I'm not the best at like planning ahead, really. And I've always been
Mhm.
that way. So I'm not gonna say like because I think worst case scenario, I do generally like plan for that or like brace myself for that. Um, but
By the way, you're only seeing my perspective for this, so you'll just see my result.
yeah,
But then what Alec will relay is usually stay calm, even under a lot of pressure. Yes.
I'm gonna say
Yes.
it's a mid agree for me.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Um, especially because like my big pressure or stress relief is just completely ignoring the problem.
Hmm.
So that's like my MO for like everything. So
I'd say like most of the time when people are freaking out, I'm just like pretty chill about it. I'm like, okay, you don't need to freak out about it. I mean, this is all good. Yeah, we're and then people will confuse that with me like not being urgent enough. But I'm like, no, I'm just chill. Let's just chill. Sometimes the pressure can get to me a little bit, but it's not too bad.
mm,
At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know.
hard agree.
Yeah.
Hard agree.
Yeah.
That's
That's
I
a,
mean like
like you have to be a social butterfly really to be the one that would go out of their way. Most people, this is probably true, even if they don't want to admit it.
yeah, to me though, like there are some people that are like really comfortable with doing it. And like I wouldn't say that I'm not comfortable doing it really. Like
Hmm.
it's just that I always feel like I need to be introduced to them. Like I don't want to approach people. I feel very uncomfortable just approaching people. So I'm more if to me I'm way more comfortable just hanging out with the people I already know, and should someone come along, I might introduce myself there. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be favoring the people that I'm. So like the wedding I went to, the wedding I was just in, mostly hung out with my
Yeah,
friends.
look, weddings, are you really going to go mingle with other people that you don't know at weddings? I mean, I
Nope.
feel like these social events are constructed in ways that, like,
Yeah.
encourage you to be with people. You're literally seated with the people that you know, so that's how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
It's like a party. I guess a party environment's different, but I don't really go to
Yeah.
many parties, so.
Yeah. Me either.
You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. I disagree. In fact, it's to my detriment that I start many
I
projects and.
I'm the same way. What is my room right now? I'm gonna say it's a mid disagree.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Um.
We will be the
Yeah.
same person.
Yeah. We're gonna be the same. We're gonna
I
have the
think we
same
should just
personality.
agree on everything.
Yeah.
You're very sentimental.
Yes. I'm definitely a sentimental person. I
Um,
mean, like when I think sentimental, I also think of like nostalgic. I don't know if they're not exactly the same though.
it was so sentimental is specifically saying that you are emotionally. How would you describe it?
Of or prompted by feelings of tenderness, sadness, or nostalgia. I would say that I am quite a sentimental person. Yes, I would agree with that. Like yeah, I would actually say I'd probably say hard agree on that.
I'll say mid agree. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. I love lists, and I do actually. Yeah, I do like schedules as well. Though I need to get into the habit of giving I want to get like a daily planner going.
Yeah,
But I did set up a whole schedule with my family where we put all our schedules in it. It's like a whole app and everything. So I do like
yeah.
that kind of stuff, and I do a lot of lists. So definitely.
I'm going to soft disagree on this one, and the reason why is because I'm kind of with you that I like using them. I just don't, and I just can't get myself to do it as much as I try. Because I like lists. Obviously, I like tier lists and things like that. Those are really great, but I don't use them, and I need to. It's very bad that I don't.
Mhm.
Like honestly, it is extremely helpful for your brain to do stuff like that, organization, especially with like a very I would say like a very like logically or technical oriented person like I tend to be. But I don't. I need to use that more. I mean, like So anyway,
So I did mid agree on it.
soft disagree for me.
Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge.
I'm gonna say like soft agree. I don't like failing. I don't like not knowing things. I feel like I'm a lot better at this now than I used to be, because I think I used to like really like take it super hard.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like I almost am like I think I still tend to kind of feel this way, but I more in like a bargaining kind of mood in terms of like, okay, well I didn't do that, but I still know this stuff, and like I can use it as a learning opportunity kind of thing. So
I would say mid disagree for me.
okay.
I don't think generally it doesn't get to me or affect me in that way. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation.
Hell no, hard disagree. I wish I was more of this person. I feel like I would probably go on more dates if I did this. you know. But I
Someone you
can't do
find
that. I'm just so.
interesting.
There was
Yeah.
okay, so I'll tell you a story right now. There
Hmm.
was a just this weekend. I mean, granted, I'm in a professional setting, so I can't like do this. I was like this close to like to going out of my comfort zone and like just basically not like asking them out per se, but like at least like asking for their number. There was like a person cleaning someone's house, uh, and she was like the only person there, and it was just like she was cleaning a house for a customer. I was doing an inspection, and I just struck up a conversation with her, just generally about things. And she was just like super nice, super cool. She had really awesome tattoos I really liked a lot.
Hmm.
I wanted to just like talk to her about her tattoos, and then I just didn't because I was shy.
So you didn't strike up the conversation, or you
Did
did so?
not. I wanted
No, you
to,
wanted to.
but I did not feel comfortable doing
Hmm.
so. And like, I don't know, that could have, that could have been something. Maybe she was married. I don't know, but like that could have. I mean, that could have been. I didn't shoot my shot. So
Yeah.
there you go. I got nothing. I got nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I would say disagree, mid disagree, for me, because yeah, that's just not something. I was always. I'm generally, it's like I'm pretty shy, but like once I get to know people, I can be pretty outgoing, but in, if it's just like a random in public finding someone interesting, I wouldn't
Yeah.
just strike up a conversation. Generally, it depends. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. Well,
That's
disagree.
hard disagree for me. I love this shit. That's like my favorite thing.
We
I
should.
love I
We
love
wouldn't
that's
be
why one of
here.
the things I love tackling people's reviews and like being like I don't agree with this what their takeaway
Yeah,
of this
we
or
wouldn't be here if we didn't value various interpretations and analyses of creative works. You know.
no, not at all.
Okay, so it's a hard disagree from both of us.
Hard to disagree. Yeah, I mean like you I think you yeah, we wouldn't exist. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing if we were not interested in that.
Mhm. So, all right, we're 20% in to the personality test. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. Listen to your heart. You know what? Ever since like recent times, I've been more inclined to follow my heart. I've been more
Yeah.
more romantic in that sense. I'm like, just listen to your heart, just follow your heart, that kind of thing.
I think I'm a mid degree on this one.
But I generally am like a head, like logical,
Yeah.
more than anything is what I try to be. I'll say completely neutral.
Okay, that's totally fair, honestly. If you feel like it's equal parts
Yeah.
in balance. So I think I'm a mid degree. Yeah, I'd say I'm like mid degree on that one.
You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine.
Unfortunately, yes, agree. I need to change that. Like honestly, that's like
I want a routine.
yeah. It's like my work is my daily routine, and then when I get home is kind of like whatever I feel like, and that to me is like I'll kind of process through what I want to do, what I should do. Usually throughout the week, I'll like general process. Okay, I need to do this sometime this week. I need to do this sometime this week. I'm gonna do this for meals this week. That kind of thing. Like I generally parse through it, but then even sometimes when I get home, I just like sit on my phone for like an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah,
And
but
I'm like, okay.
the way they phrase it though, they say usually prefers doing that. Not that I don't think I prefer it, and in fact, I acknowledge that I would rather have a better daily routine. I feel like.
Yeah,
that's
so-
tough.
Let's just say that yeah, we'll go to mid agree on that. So hard agree. Usually prefer just doing it like any good because like for the most time it works out for me. There's just elements of it that don't like the state of my room, for example.
Hmm.
But
I'll say tiny disagree,
okay,
but I could go either way. Honestly, you rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Rarely worry. Yeah, I mean, I would say I rarely worry about it when people I meet.
I generally just don't really care what people think about me, to be honest. I've kind of like I think there's an element of it that I do, but like for the most part I'm kind of over that. I don't know. Like I mean, like, I think I don't know. Like, I even think back at like some of the dates I went on over the last few years, and it's like, am I really worried about if I'm making a good impression? I mean, like, I'm just kind of being me, and if it works, then it works. You know, that's kind of like my idea. I don't necessarily think worried about making a good impression. I'm just being like, I'm more thinking about like, I'm more thinking about like a lot more things than just if I'm making a good impression on them.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, like, I'm just gonna say my gut says like mid agree on that one.
That's where I'm at, mid agree. You enjoy participating in group activities. This is the one that's tough for me because I
Yeah,
I
I'm
found that I like being part of groups and doing certain group activities, but then certain ones I find like I'll just kind of shut down after a while. It depends. I'm like in certain settings, I'm not as into it. I'll just kind
I,
of be in the corner.
I'm true neutral on this one. I think because I think there is an element of it that I love. I think of but to me it's always generally speaking it's small group activities. So Destiny raids, D&D, board game groups with my friends, board game nights with my friends, stuff like that, like poker night. I love doing that stuff. Going over, so we have like some local friends that I go over, and some go over to their house every once in a while, and usually they'll have like a varying amount of people over. Sometimes if it's a board game night, they'll just have a few. If it's like a social, they may have like a dozen people,
Hmm.
and I like going over and doing that stuff because they're amazing hosts. So, um, but like I don't love like the idea of tons of group activities. I don't know. There's just like there are times where I really just kind of want to do my own thing. Generally when I think of group activities, I think of like a lot of socializing. And
Hmm.
I am definitely like the certain definition of an introvert, which is that um, I'm fine with being social, but then I definitely need to go recharge. My social battery drains when I'm with people, and then like I need to go and recharge after that, rather than getting that from being with people. So
Yeah, it's like last
it's
year there was a whole period where I did a lot of group activities because we had this
hmm,
group from work that we would do stuff, mostly game nights or movie nights, stuff like that, or go out to eat. Um,
yeah.
but then more recently, it's turned into I've like went away from group activities more and gone more towards just like one-on-one stuff is more what I'm into.
Hmm.
And since I've been with my girlfriend, that's most of what I've been doing is like just one-on-one activities.
Yeah.
I kind of prefer that over group activities, but I do really like if I could have a good group for like board game nights. I would definitely do that like every week, movie nights every week, stuff like that.
I might even say like I'll do soft degree. We'll say soft degree on that for me, but I'm definitely still an introvert,
Yeah,
as
that's
we'll see,
soft degree.
as this comes out. I'm sure.
You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Uh, no. Yes, no.
Yeah, I'm like back and forth on this too because like it depends. It depends on how well executed it is because I feel like a lot of open-ended sort of films can be like I find those can be very intriguing. Um, but like then there are some that if it's not executed well, you could just be frustrating.
I feel like the most good movies I think of don't have you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Look, because I guess Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, you can come up with your own interpretation of the ending
Yeah,
on that one.
2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know if you've actually seen that or
I haven't.
not, but
What?
the book, the Tree of Life.
The Tree of Life. I was just trying to think of my favorite movies.
Yeah, okay, that is one of my favorite movies. I love
Okay,
that.
I don't know.
Terrence Malick. That definitely is sort of that. I would say. Um, I don't know. I think I'm in the agree, but it's all about based on execution. I think to me, I do like it because it just fosters discussion, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, I don't
Own
know,
interpretation of the ending. I mean, all right, yeah, I'll soft agree on it.
Yeah, I soft agree. I think I might mid agree actually. So
Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. I disagree. In fact, I find the idea of helping others I rarely find myself in a position to help others accomplish things. I mean, you can help others, but to help others accomplish things, it's not a thing I
yeah,
find too
I'm
often.
a I'm a soft disagree. I mean, I do like helping out and being there and knowing that that I help people, but like I feel like I definitely get more out of I definitely get more out
Accomplishing.
of of myself doing something, So,
Mm-hmm. I
um,
mid disagree.
yeah, I think I think I'm gonna just nah. I think I'll soft disagree. So
All right. You are interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. Definitely,
yeah,
definitely for
hard
me.
agree.
Because yeah, I do. I literally have a list of things like that. I'm like, I want to work on my website. I want to do more videos. I want to write more. I want to read more. I want to
Yeah,
learn this. I want to,
yeah,
and it's like, and then it's just like, okay, I'll do none of it then.
yeah. I
That's my
know that's
compromise.
exactly what happens to me. It's like okay, I've got all these anime to watch. I've got these books to read, and movies that I want to see, video games that I want to play, figures that I want to collect, and then I just don't.
Mm-hmm. All right. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse.
I think you know where I am on this
Mm-hmm.
one,
Uh,
given what I was saying earlier.
I don't. I don't think so for me though. It's a mid
I,
disagree for me.
okay, I'm a mid agree. I don't think I'm constantly thinking about this sort of thing, but well, you are prone to worrying things, so I would say yes, I'm prone to worrying things that will take. It depends on what the things are, but generally speaking, I am a relatively pessimistic person.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I will stick to mid all the same.
You avoid leadership roles in group settings.
I'm a soft agree on this one.
I'll say disagree. In fact, I find that like in college when I would be in whenever any project was like film, especially when I got into the radio, TV, film, actual major courses, I always ended up like taking on the leadership of it. That's just what happens. I don't know why. Um, so I wouldn't say I avoid that. In fact, I often like to organize groups too. That's just a thing I like. I like being a part of something, and and as a result, I end up like leading groups sometimes. But so yeah, I would say hard disagree. Hard disagree.
Hmm.
You're definitely not an artistic type of person. Um, I am an artistic type of person, not in when it comes to actual art, but in terms of
Yeah, I
the
mean it's
wider
hard.
concept of art, I like
What?
creating things.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of hard to say. I mean, like I find artistic types are very attractive to me. I find a lot of enjoyment in art and a love of and appreciation for art. The type of art that I personally do would be like music, like that. That's sort of my expression
Hmm.
of art. But like, I I don't know if I really consider myself a very artistic person. I'm going to. I think I'm gonna soft disagree because there are elements of I think I actually made true neutral because it's like I'm more kind of difficult. I'm more having a hard time parsing out exactly what they're getting at here. It's like to me, I don't think I think I wouldn't class myself as an artistic person. So
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna soft agree, but I have a massive appreciation and love and like emotional vibe on that kind of a person. It's hard for me to say like super oh yeah I'm not artistic when it's like so much of my life is about like a love of art, film,
Mm-hmm.
books, media, actual art, like so yeah.
I think it's a mid disagree for me, only because yeah, when it comes to like literally painting and creating
Yeah.
art in that way, I'm horrible. But in terms of, I always want to create something or express myself in some way,
Mm.
and so yeah, I would consider myself artistic in that way.
Mm.
You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings?
I mean, probably. That's like I'm gonna say like soft agree only for like I'm worried about like what a world like that would look
Yeah, I think soft
like.
agree. Yeah, if because if you hard agree, I feel you're getting to a territory where it's like you don't care about people's feelings. So
Yeah. It's like, or to me, it's more like, yes, I think a healthy dose of rationality would do the world a lot more good than just relying completely on emotions. But like, yeah, when you're only on rationality, yeah, you are really like, I don't know.
you're gonna lose the humanity in there somewhere.
Yeah, so there's a an element of both that needs to be at play, but I would agree with that. Yes, I do think that. So
Okay, you prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax.
hard disagree.
I mean, logically, everything. See, if we had a little more rationality, I would
Yeah,
obviously do my chores before relaxing, because
yeah,
every time that gives you less stress in the long run, right?
it does. Yeah,
But it's just not the case, because I rely on my feelings, and my feelings draw me to grabbing my Nintendo Switch
that's
before
right.
cleaning up the room. You know, so uh, yeah, it's a hard disagree, unfortunately. You enjoy watching people argue.
Does anybody? That's such an interesting thing. I mean, like,
I mean, it depends. Is it like I hate you kind of arguing, or is it a debate?
I found yeah, because like there was one time where I was playing games in here, and then all of a sudden I was hearing very like raised voices out in the hallway. I
And
was like, what the heck is
you
going on?
just got some popcorn and
Literally, yes. Literally, yes. I went and I made popcorn, and it was just because I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. Like, what do we fight? What is going on out here? And then I forgot that I was playing a game in the other room, and then I came back and my friend was like, "Hey, so you were gone for like half an hour and you didn't say anything to me about it." It was on my PS5.
Hmm.
And yeah, but it was because I kind of like got myself involved a little bit, just like being like, this is my perspective on this situation. It was a very stupid argument, but it was kind of somewhat heated, despite the fact that it was pretty dumb. But
Mm-hmm.
and that I found entertaining to a degree, but I think it was only because it was kind of stupid. I mean, I like debate. Debate is always an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I would say soft disagree though, because just the idea of I
Yeah,
enjoy watching people argue. I don't.
I don't really. I like
No.
it makes me kind of just
I just want
uncomfortable.
everybody to get along. Why can't we all just be
Yeah,
friends?
I'm gonna soft disagree on that one.
All right. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. No, I'd say in most times where you can draw attention to yourself, I tend to sometimes. I don't know. I like to make people laugh and all that.
Yeah,
But again, if it's a bigger group setting, I might not. And if it's not, if there's a lot of people I don't know, I wouldn't be the life of the party kind of thing.
I'm gonna mid agree on that one.
And I'll soft disagree. Your mood can change very quickly. The problem is the past year or so that was more the case than ever before, because I was just like I would just get wildly depressed sometimes.
Mm.
I don't think as much anymore. So I would say mid disagree. It's very situational, like because
Well, I mean, this is situational, right? It can change very quickly. It's not saying that it does,
but I'm
but
not. It's not like I guess.
me, I don't know. I've always been like, yeah, this is very difficult for me to sort of parse out because like it does, but it's never like serious. Like the road rage that I experience, like when I'm like angrily talking to myself in the car about how stupid this person is for doing this. I'm like mad, but it's like for like 5 seconds, and then I'm like fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that I would consider that a full on mood change though. I feel like I'm going to soft disagree on this one. I generally I don't I feel like maybe when I was younger this would probably be apply more.
Yeah, I'd say
Doesn't
soft
really.
disagree because when I like a year ago, it was definitely it would change a lot, but that was just because I was depressed. So just like a little thing would set me off and I get really sad. Recently, it's not. Or the last year at least hasn't been the case as much. It's not like I'm a lot more stable. I feel like than that, and then most of my life I've been that way. So soft disagree. All right, you lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you.
Yes, I do. Which is, saying something because I don't know if I necessarily agree that I'm the most efficient person. But that is a mid-agree on my part.
I'd say mid disagree. I think I'm pretty patient generally with people.
That's good. I find myself not being so, and I like for example, when I'm watching my dad, who just turned 70. Wow, that's crazy to think about. Play video games. I tend to lose patience because he's slow and he doesn't, he's not very good, but he's still having fun. And I have to always hold myself back. The frustration and the lack of patience that I have for watching him play. But yeah.
You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Yeah, strongly agree.
Yeah, same. That was like my MO in freaking college.
Yeah,
was procrastination machine, man. That's why I pulled an all-nighter every single freaking night in college, practically.
And again, if we had a little more rationality, we wouldn't be doing these things.
Not every night in college. Every night my senior year, basically, was an all-nighter, and then I would nap during the day.
The problem with procrastination is it's like a sad drug. It ruins you. It's like you know damn well that you every fiber of your being tells you should not be putting this off, and that you will be much more healthy for not having put it off.
Yeah.
But you do it anyway, and then you cram, and it's like, why am I doing this? Because I have to do this anyway, and it's just way worse than if I'd just done it a week ago when I said I would. It's just, I don't know. It's a curse most of us live with, unfortunately. You've always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. Definitely, strongly agree.
This is interesting for me because I'm a religious person, so I already have an opinion on that.
So all you think about is after death.
Not really. I don't know. I don't dwell on it terribly often. I feel like it's just sort of an acknowledgement of existence to me. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to say no to this because obviously I do have a fascination on it.
But the question.
But I don't find myself
you don't question
it. You've always been fascinated by the question of what.
You're fascinated by the question.
Yeah, maybe that's why. It's just because I've always sort of had, maybe not always, but I generally have had throughout my life.
This is why I'm not religious. This is because I am fascinated by the question of what if anything happens after death.
I mean, but you can be religious and be fascinated by this, though. That's the thing.
We're 50% through the test. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Slight agree.
I think I'm going to be in the middle on this one.
I found that I generally don't. If I can help it, I would like to be with company. But
yeah, to me, it's very dependent on mood. I feel like on weekends, there are times when I really like just having the house to myself, and there are times where it's just I like having at least someone around. And I think that's generally the idea. I like to have someone at least around.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I'm always with them, but just to have somebody present. I do tend to get kind of lonely when I'm just on my own for too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm actually probably more a soft agree.
Yeah.
But
You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Absolutely not. I highly disagree. In fact, I consider myself hypothetical, theoretical.
Hypothetical. I'm gonna soft disagree because I think you can't. Not soft disagree. Mid disagree because I think that there's an aspect where. Well,
I love.
I don't know. Actually, I can't think of an instance.
I love my hypotheticals.
Actually, I don't know if I can even think of an instance where I was like I wasn't engaged when it got more abstract or theoretical. So.
You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. Well, that's very... Yes, of course. I empathize with all walks of life. I
empathize with everyone.
Well,
some people are. Some people do. Some people are like straight up empaths. So, practically.
I would agree, but I'm just saying to be that confident, like, I empathize with everyone's experiences.
Honestly, I'm going to soft disagree on this one, because I tend to think of myself as a relatively empathetic person. I do, but to me, there's sometimes where it's like I have to like realize where I there are times where I just like no, I can't really do that, and I have to sort of like find a way to do so.
So I ended up with a slight agree on that.
Okay, I'm a slight disagree.
So you usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible.
Agree.
Really?
I think so. I'm not gonna like. I feel like this is something where it's hard to like think of a specific example. I mean, it sort of goes to the procrastination thing, which obviously I do a lot, but I think I'm just gonna say soft agree on this one, because I think that like I do that because I want to really make sure that I'm making the right choice about something. But like I can't think of like a specific example where that's like the case where I'm like, as long as possible, I gotta delay it as long as possible. Because it's like if it's a job offer, then like generally I'm just gonna take that right away. Something like that. Or I can't think of like any other like important decisions or anything like that I'm waiting for as long as possible.
Almost like disagree for me.
Yeah.
You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Rarely second guess.
Yeah, disagree on that one.
Yeah.
I'm only gonna slight disagree because like I don't know.
I'll disagree on that. I feel like I second guess a lot.
I'm maybe more on that because I definitely like. I feel like I try to have a life without regrets, but like again, I always think worst case scenario. So like that leads to second guessing a lot of the time.
I do think a lot about regrets. So
yeah.
After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. No. Disagree.
Yeah, I'm gonna hard disagree on that one.
Yeah.
Generally, long and exhausting weeks are. I mean, like, if I've got something like a concert planned or whatever, I'll just psych myself up for it. But like for the most part, I'm not gonna go seek that out unless I have money involved in it.
I mean, they stacked the deck on this one. It's like you have to really love social events.
Well, you have to be an extrovert, basically. Yeah,
because like not just an extrovert though, because you're specifically saying long and exhausting week. So I feel like even most extroverts, if they're exhausted, they're not going to want a lively social event. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh no."
Some people, yeah. I mean, it's not one to one, but like extroverts typically tend to get jazzed about hanging out with people. So, or even just hanging out with people, like being out in an environment with lots of people.
If you're exhausted, you're exhausted.
That gives you energy. That energizes you.
All right.
So yeah.
You enjoy going to art museums. I haven't really been to any art museums actually, but I feel like I would enjoy it. So I'll do a slight agree then.
I'm gonna hard agree. I really like going to art museums.
I like museums in general, but
yeah.
You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings.
This is going back to the empathy thing. I
I disagree. I think I understand other people's feelings pretty well. Mid disagree. I might not understand, but I understand.
This is hard for me. Really trying to press this out. I'm gonna say slight disagree on this one. I don't think because I feel like a lot of people I know I can kind of like get an idea of like what people feel about stuff, but there's some things some people, even friends, sometimes will say or do things and express things, and I just can't. I guess maybe I just don't. I just can't understand sometimes. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I would say that's often a hard time understanding. I don't know. That's tough. So I'm gonna say that's a disagree though. Still, I feel like I generally can see where people are coming from, even if it's something I disagree. Yeah.
You like to have a to-do list for each day. I like to have a to-do list, but I generally don't.
I'm gonna slight disagree on that one. Just because I don't.
I say mid agree because I do like to have a to-do list for each day, and I want to start doing that. You rarely feel insecure. Disagree. I can tend to be insecure about a good amount.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Again, I don't often feel that insecure because like I'm pretty secure in like my friendship, my job, my relationship. I don't have a relationship, so that's a feeling of insecurity. So I think that's definitely a sore feeling of insecurity. So I'm going to say slight disagree on that one. I definitely feel insecure about that a lot of the time. But like everything else, I'm pretty secure in myself about. So
you avoid making phone calls. Slight agree. I mean, certain phone calls.
I'm going to say disagree, mid disagree. I mean, like I've never had a problem. Especially because like I have to do this for my job. I have to make phone calls for my job. So I have to do that. I can easily call friends, family. I don't really think I have much of a trouble doing that, to be honest. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna hard disagree.
I can call them, but
yeah,
I'd say like important phone calls. They do stress me out.
Sure. I mean, they do to me. I can immediately think of the hardest phone call. Several of the hardest phone calls I've ever had in my life, and they weren't fun, but I didn't really avoid them. So
you often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. Yeah, I do try I do spend a lot of time trying to understand views.
I feel like I'm going to like slight agree on this one. Because like, yeah, I think a lot of times like I mean that's part of media criticism, like a lot of what we do. Like if you wanna classify us as that rather than just two schmucks talking about stuff they like. Yeah, I mean I think to me sometimes I'm trying to understand like why people think a certain way or why people feel a certain way. Is definitely something that I tend to do. But then there are times where like people will feel a certain way about things, and then maybe I'm more like mid agree on this one. Because yeah, I feel like I do want to like get to the root of why people think a certain way about even like serious topics like
political
like why do people political topics, yeah, religious topics, yeah. I definitely want to try to get to the like root of situations. So yeah,
I mid agree.
Yeah, like I want to know why why people who have different political persuasions feel a certain way. Because like it helps me get to know them as a person better, but it also helps me like understand like, okay, that's what they think, this is why they think that. I still disagree with it, but at least now I know like why they think that way, sort of thing, right?
Yeah, so, like that stuff really interests me, getting different perspectives. And yeah. In your social circle, you're often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. Right at this moment, I'm not, but like I said before, I like to form groups, and so I would often, especially last year when we did have a solid work group, I would be like initiating a lot of like organizing game nights and stuff like that. So generally I would say I am, but I mean my social circle is not really much right now. It's just a couple people. But I would say mid-agree.
I'm going to say mid-disagree. The reason for this being is like I'm thinking of an example where I am a quote-unquote leader right now, my home D&D campaign. I'm terrible at contacting them about this. I haven't contacted them in like almost over a month now, basically, for the next session, because like I haven't had really time to really plan because I've been focusing on Jen's challenge stuff. I've been focusing on the wedding. I had all these other different priorities going on, and like I just haven't been able to like focus on planning for them. So then I've not been communicating and initiating. So that is not one of my strong suits. So at least in terms of like when I'm in a position like that. So that's definitely not my MO. But like that being said, like there are times where I'm pretty good at being like, hey, let's like hang out and like let's play games or. But I'm definitely not the one to go to. I'm definitely not. It would be unusual to most people that I'm going to initiate something like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say right now I don't have much of a social circle, but when I do, I tend to be the one. And I've always said that once I have my own place and everything, I think I would definitely like to regularly host game nights and stuff like that. I would definitely be initiating that stuff.
Yeah, because like around here, my housemate deals with all that. Like he's normally the guy that's like the mediator. He's like, hey, these people are, our friends, our local friends they're having people over. Or so he's like the guy that they go to relay to us with my D&D group. Again, both D&D groups, both my college one and my home one. Not really the go-to guy on that, which is bad for the home one because that's supposed to be my job.
Right.
So yeah.
If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible.
I'm trying to think of like what an instance of this is because like I don't have tons of plans about things.
Yeah.
I would say agree because if it's like something that like if it's something that I've spent enough time planning to do and that goes off track, I'm getting back on that. That does have to be on number one because like it just has to be.
Yeah, slight agree for me. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago.
Yeah, that's an agree for me. Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna say hard agree on that. Yeah.
Yeah. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Hard disagree.
Yeah, I'm gonna hard disagree.
Every day of my life, I'm contemplating human existence and the meaning of life. Your emotions control you more than you control them.
No. Slight disagree on that one.
I am a very emotional person, but I think I'm generally pretty good at controlling my emotions. So let's say slight disagree. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it is completely their fault.
Publicly, if it's my friends, yes. Even if it's coworkers, I would say yes. Person to person behind closed doors, absolutely not. There are times where something's going on and I'll DM or I'll text or tell one of my coworkers about this thing that's going on, and I don't like trying to make people look bad, I guess. I mean, like, when something's completely their fault, yeah, I'm going to be honest and be like, this is totally their fault. This can't happen. This shouldn't happen. But, like, I'm not trying to actively go after somebody,
Yeah,
everyone's got to vent sometimes.
Yeah, I'd say I'm neutral because
of
those same reasons, actually. Yeah, I do like to hold people accountable, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna slight agree on that, but it's definitely like on the I will definitely vent to the right people about whatever it is that's going on. So my manager first and foremost, or just like another friend, if it's in like a friend group, I'll like vent to another friend about it.
Yeah. All right. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Slight agree.
I'm gonna slight agree on that too.
Even though I'd like them to be more organized and consistent. I'm
Me
always
too.
working on it, but
Yeah.
when someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you.
I don't think about that. That's the thing. Like I don't really think about that much, really. I don't focus on that
Yeah,
so much. Like I maybe that's just like my trust. Maybe I'm too trusting. Like obviously I think about like regrets. I have like second guesses and things like that, but I don't think about that specifically, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna mid disagree on that.
I'm gonna also mid disagree.
You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time.
Hard agree, and that's what I have, and that's why I love it.
Slight agree. The new job I just got is I'm gonna be a delivery driver, so
Oh, okay, cool.
it'll be mostly alone.
Yeah,
And the job I've had is always with people up until now. So
yeah. Catch up on your podcast. You
yeah,
get a lot of listening time on that. Yeah.
So yeah, you believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. Strong disagree.
Hard disagree. What is this? What is this crap?
Who are do these people exist that actually
Yeah,
don't
I know.
they don't think
don't-
about anything
They
philosophical?
think it's a waste of time. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to meet that person. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. See, that's interesting. I go back and forth because it's like sometimes I like the idea of like a city because there's always stuff going on, but at the same time I do really like quiet, intimate places because I like a really chill vibe, you know. So I kind of like both.
Yeah, to me, same. Because like con energy is like a real thing. I love going.
Yeah.
That's like I love going to cons because of that. You get that excited energy. But like, I think back at like, I feel like I am more drawn to the quiet, intimate places because like I think of back in the classic days of Borders Bookstore. So we have a Books a Million in town now. To me, the quiet, intimate places, I think of Borders. You got we would all go off in our separate areas. I'd hit the kids section, you know, comics and things like that. My brothers would go do whatever. My dad would hit the magazines or history books or other novels. My mom would, you know, go back over between us. And then like the little cafe that they had over there, which funnily enough, we actually own one of the like the grinders or like the smoothie machines from our local Borders. We have that for some reason. I have no idea why. I don't even think anyone here. I don't know if we even remember. Like I think I asked one time, like, how did we get this? And it was very like, yeah, we don't really know. We just kind of got it one day. But like I have like because that was like a very strong like I loved going there as a little kid, and to me like having that like smooth jazz and it was kind of quiet and yeah that for some reason I'm fixating on that, but like that to me is like a quiet, intimate place, and I really fondly remember that. It's very different vibe from the Books a Million is now because that doesn't have a cafe anymore.
Yeah,
but I would say slight agree because again it's context dependent. But
so you are more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres.
Oh yeah. Slight disagree. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely more drawn to quiet, intimate places. You know, because I do like the energy sometimes, but you know, like we went to the boardwalk yesterday, and there's just like tons of people. In the summertime, there's tons of people, and that can just be irritating because you have to weave through tons of people. And if you go to do something, there's tons of people. You have to move around, and then like I'm always thinking, I wish we just had this place to ourselves. You know, these little like we play mini golf and stuff, but you have like people in front of you, people behind you. It's like it's annoying. There's so many people loud, people bumping into you.
Those families of those stupid little kids are just running all over the course and running all over your path and screaming and then wondering why you're. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I like some elements of it, but generally I'm always like, wishing that there were less people around, and it's like, so yeah, I would say mid disagree. Though again, I do like the idea of living in an area where stuff is is going on around you. There's stuff to do and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then a lot of times I just want peace. You know at first glance how someone is feeling.
I feel like I've gotten better at this over time.
um,
I don't know though. It's like it's hard to say. Like
it is
I'm
hard to
not
say.
always the best at like reading people. Like sometimes some people just have that RBF, you know. So I don't always know. I'm
I'll
gonna say
slight agree.
Slight degree, I think.
Slight degree.
I'm gonna mid on that one. I'm true neutraling that. I don't know. I don't know.
Generally, I'm pretty good, especially if you know the person. You can tell when their demeanor has changed or something's up, and they give the dumbass response of nothing's wrong, I'm okay. But
yeah,
I mean,
slight agree.
Slight agree. You often feel overwhelmed. Yeah, I do. Mid agree. I do feel overwhelmed recently especially. I mean, it's like the part of me having a lot of things I want to do is also I'm overwhelmed by how many things I want to do.
Again, my response to that stress, the overwhelming stress, is like just ignoring it or pretending it's not there. So like I don't feel it, even though I probably should. It would probably, if I actually felt it, it would probably help me get over it with Bennett Foddy. But
you love that game. All right,
I don't. I've never played it in my life.
You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Yeah. Yes. I mean, if there's anything that has instructions, I'm always like, I have to do it step by step. But
I'm gonna hard agree on that because like I can't think of an instance where I'm like, yeah, I'm a very much it has to be done this way. It should be done this way. It's
Yeah. Except if you're playing Mario, I do skip some steps in that. I'll leap across some shit. I'm like, I don't even want. I'll be too impatient sometimes. I'll just like let me leap over all this shit. I don't even want to bother.
I'm completing it. I got Gerard Khalil completes it. You get complete things, complete games. You're in.
So it's a strong agree from me, though.
I'm gonna strongly agree on that. Yeah.
You were very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I like controversial topics. So I'll always look.
Sure. I mean, I guess I'll mid agree on that. I guess.
Yeah. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more.
I've never had an instance where this has ever come into play.
This is a philosophical question, though. It's asking you, would you, if this opportunity presented itself, and you have this person, like this job. I don't know. You have a job opportunity, but you don't need the money, and you have this person next to you who desperately needs the money. And if you don't take it, and they get it, would you pass it up?
Am I that altruistic? I don't know. But if you thought someone else needed more, you don't necessarily know that they need it more.
But you think it. Slight disagree. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here. You gotta fend for yourself.
I can't. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I feel like I'm gonna slight agree on that one. No, I don't know. I'm kind of selfish, so.
So what are you going with?
I'm in the middle. I can't. I can't really. That's so context dependent for me.
Well, how about you struggle with deadlines?
Agree.
Yeah. Mid-agree. You feel confident that things will work out for you?
I generally feel that things will, despite the fact that I'm a pessimist, I generally feel that whatever happens, and everything will work itself out in the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that.
But I'm not like confident in it.
I'm mid-disagree. In fact, yeah, that's me. I am pessimistic.
I'm slight disagree because of that aspect of like I do think that everything happens for a reason, and it's like everything will come out in the wash okay. But I'm not like confident that it will always work for me in particular. So That's a slight disagree.
Well,
Select your gender.
we've reached the end. We're about to get our results, baby. What do you
Let's
think
see.
it's gonna be?
So mine's either going to be INTP or INTJ.
So yeah, I was INTJ in high school, literally,
Mhm.
and then I took one like last year, and it made me ENTP or something weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you and I were pretty similar in a lot of ways. I
Well, we
think
disagreed on a lot.
we did disagree a fair amount, but we were maybe more similar than maybe I was even anticipating. There were a lot we were pretty jiving on, but anyway.
Let's see the results.
All right, see results.
Your personality type is mediator, INFPA. What do you got?
You're INFPA. I'm INTPT.
Okay.
I'm always on the line when it comes to it. This time I'm not as on the line with prospecting versus judging. But here's the thing: is that like you go through like the reading through the profile, because I've like read through both of the ones on other sites, even including this one. I just feel more INTJ than INTP.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so first of all, it says mind. This trait determines how we interact with our environment. I'm 58% introverted, 42% extroverted. What are you?
27% extroverted, 73% introverted.
73%. Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. I'm 83% intuitive, 17% observant.
80% intuitive, 20% observant.
Nature determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. 52% feeling, 48% thinking.
54% thinking, 46% feeling.
Tactics reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. 54% prospecting, 46% judging.
I see. I'm 33% judging, 67% prospecting.
And identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. So 51% assertive and 49% turbulent.
I am flipped on that.
So, oh, really? 51%?
Turbulent, yep.
So that's barely an indicator, or a little A and T at the end of everything.
Yeah.
Read my profile.
Okay.
No, I don't need a copy of my results. Thank you, though. Okay, so let's just look at our strengths and weaknesses, I guess. So overall, we don't have to read through. We'll just do our so I'm empathetic, generous, open-minded, creative, passionate, and idealistic. That's pretty good. Pretty good for me. What about you for your strengths?
I don't know. I'm starting to now second guess myself. Maybe I am an INTP. I'm looking at strengths and weaknesses. I'll have to go back through the architect, I think is what they call INTJs on the site. I don't remember. But logician, analytical, original. I don't see it. That's the one thing. I don't know if I agree with that. Thanks to their unrelenting imagination, logicians can come up with creative, counterintuitive ideas that wouldn't occur to most people. Not all of these ideas are feasible, of course, but logicians' willingness to think outside the box and produce remarkable innovations. I don't agree with that at all.
No.
That does not sound like me. But open-minded, they're driven by curiosity and intense desire to learn everything they can. People with this personality type tend to be receptive to new ideas and ways of doing things, as long as those ideas are supported by sound reasoning. I don't know if I'm a very open. Yes, I do have an intense desire to learn everything I can, but I don't really think of myself as a very open-minded person.
Wow.
Definitely fairly close-minded when it comes to certain things. So, curious, sure. Objective, yeah. Logicians care about the truth. Rather than taking comfort in ideology or received ideas, they want to understand what's really going on beneath the surface of things. As a result, they can be relied upon to combat bias and misinformation, even when it isn't easy to do. Weaknesses, disconnected. Logicians get lost in their own train of thought, even when they're with other people.
Yes.
Yeah. Insensitive. People with this personality type see rationality as the key to a better, happier world.
Yes.
At times, they may underestimate the importance of such irrational values as emotion, compassion, etiquette, and tradition. See that? Yeah, I don't know. There's parts of me that like I would probably say yes, insensitive, but like I don't think any of these things are irrational. Like tradition, especially, is something that's very important to me. So they may inadvertently come across as insensitive or unkind, even though their intentions are generally good. I mean, I have been called that by my friends sometimes. So dissatisfied logicians can't help but imagine how things would be better than they already are.
I mean, we don't have to read through it all. It was just what are your weaknesses?
Impatient and perfectionist. So it's disconnected, insensitive, dissatisfied, impatient, perfectionist.
So mine are unrealistic, self-isolating, unfocused, emotionally vulnerable, desperate to please, and self-critical. I think most of those are pretty correct for me, honestly. Self-isolating, I guess so. Yes, sometimes feel lonely or isolated, even though long to connect with others. You don't always know how. Yeah, I guess so. So this is pretty good.
I definitely ride the line of this a lot more than I think the personality test says. I'm on both sides of it. I think when I very first took it and got INTJ, the very first time I took it, I think it was almost 50-50 with the J and the P. So,
I mean, I think the conclusions for mine were pretty spot on.
Yeah. Conclusions for mine were honestly very spot on.
The fact that my percentages were that close too, so I think that's fair. I'm like, 52% feeling, 54% prospecting, 49% or 51% assertive, 58% introverted. Like, that's pretty good. So like just a couple different things differently, and like all these letters are swapped almost.
Yeah.
I'm just solidly intuitive. Everything else. But it worked out. Most of the things they were saying.
Yeah, so I might be, and I've talked about it with, I've actually said, maybe you are more INTP. We've talked about it with friends of mine who are into this. So this will be interesting for them to watch, just to see what kind of people we are, again. But they did say, someone of them said at one point, you might be more INTP. You might be more INTP than we originally thought. Because is everything been a lie? You're not an INTJ, you're an INTP.
So INFP right now. I mean,
but
like literally one question difference could have changed me to and that INFPA, but I'm 1% off from being T. So I'm all. What I've realized that I encompass all personalities.
I am
personality.
I am the 1%.
No. No,
absolutely not. Yeah, so these are interesting. I mean, I've always found them to be good conversation starters, I guess, or like giving an idea of people who are like really into this stuff can kind of get a sense of maybe a little bit of who you are, just on the personality type that you have.
You think that everyone, when you meet someone, you should just hand them a card with your personality type on it?
No.
Hi, I'm a mediator.
No, it could be a topic of conversation that you bring up when you're first meeting somebody, just if they're into it.
I mean, they do have nice graphics on here, you know.
They do. They're pretty neat little piece of art, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like the aesthetics are nice. It kind of ties the whole thing together. And it seems like this guy put a lot of effort into his little project. Anyway, there's other personality tests we can do sometime for sure. And more stuff like this for sure in the future as well.
Yeah. So yeah, there's plenty of other things, other like personality things. Enneagram is one that friend group that I talk about that likes talking about this sort of stuff tends to favor more these days, because I think they feel like it's almost like it's both less and more specific about things. So it's I don't know, it's interesting because there's only 9, but really in that 9, I think there's you have your major and then your minor basically in that. So there's 9 personality types. So you have 1, and then the one after that is you have one that's like also dominant in that too. So you basically take the top 2. So it's like I'm like a 7W3 or something like that. I don't know what that means, but so there's actually way more, but but yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's it for now. Alec, what video should our viewers watch after watching this one?
Go watch our Hangman.
Tarqaron Hangman.
Tarqaron Hangman. Yeah, go check that out.
We competed in Hangman.
Yeah, just one of the weird variety of things that we have to do on this channel. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And please subscribe to the channel.
Please do.
Like the video. hit the notification bell, leave a comment, and hey, we'll see you next time. All right, take care of yourself.
Yeah.